good evening, one and all. This is your vibe, Mr. Stephanie Renee, with my co-hostess with the mostest, Sharice,
Hello.
and we are welcoming you to tonight's edition of I Heard That. And tonight is extra special. I have donned official apparel for this evening in honor of the occasion. This is our last show before Soul Sanctuary's 20th anniversary on Sunday.
Yes.
And in honor of such an auspicious occasion,
Yes.
Sharice and I have pulled together a particular playlist of music that is all about our favorites, the GOATs,
Yes.
greatest of all time. But with a special caveat, right? Because these are not the ones that you might expect, right? If we talk about greatest hits of your favorite artists, then the super duper songs from the super duper stars are the ones that immediately come to mind. But my challenge for Sharice with this show was Soul Sanctuary is all about giving exposure to independent artists, to some of the songs, some of the vibes that you may not be as familiar with, but are worthy of notice and worthy of respect. So
right.
we have gone through our individual collections and taken a look at those artists that we love, that we want to share with you, but not necessarily the songs that you would imagine are on the list. Some of those album tracks, some of those sleeper hits from our favorite artists that we think you will enjoy. And so we hope you are tuning in tonight or watching it on the replay later with the intention of being exposed to some great music that you might not know. And Sharice, you know, we always are in the same ballpark.
Always.
But not necessarily picking the same artist, and definitely not necessarily picking the same song. So that's why this is
How
fun
have
for
we
me.
avoided that thus far? We're doing good with that. We have avoided picking the same. Now we picked the same artists. We picked songs that were very similar in whatever the theme, but we have not picked the same song yet. So
Nope.
that just tells you how much music there is out there.
Yes.
Even though we love all the same music now. Don't get it twisted. We love all the same. And we've come close to picking the same songs a couple of times.
Yes.
But we have not done it yet.
And even pick songs from the same album, but just different songs.
Yeah, the same album, yes.
So you know, so that's how this vibe is running. But we definitely want everybody to kind of settle in. You know, we always invite folks to show up and show out in the comment section. Yes. I know it's a lot going on, you know, early April, and the weather has started to turn warmer. So we know that people have a lot of different options. So if you are choosing to hang out with us today, we thank you for that. And we certainly hope that you will enjoy the things that you hear. So we imagine that the comment section will begin lighting up shortly.
Yes.
But yeah, so this collection tonight, and it'll be slightly extended. Listen, nothing will ever be as extended as our what was it, our funk show?
Oh, funk.
Because those songs were so long. House. Somewhere between funk and house, because the like running time of those songs were so long. When we're doing, you know, these other kind of tracks, the running times are short. So we may play more actual songs for you.
Right.
But they're shorter songs, so we get a chance to get more in over the course of the evening. And so we've done half. We didn't go overboard. We're not sharing 20 songs with you in honor of Soul Sanctuary's 20th anniversary. It's 10, 5 each for this evening. And we might as well go ahead and jump in, and people will, you know, fall in and vibe as they are able. Yes. Your first selection for the evening, Sharice, is from one of our classic, highly esteemed male vocalists.
Absolutely. It's so easy for me to fall into a rabbit hole if I listen to one song from him, that's it for me. And I feel like he's come up in conversation plenty of times, and we may have played a song or two from him thus far. Maybe not. I don't remember, but
yeah, maybe one or two.
Yeah, I feel like we have. And so for me, when a few years ago, I tried to, when I really fell into that rabbit hole and started buying all of his music, I would listen to it, and I remember trying to get my sisters to listen, and they were like, "It sounded like you had a funeral. This sounds like a funeral." And I was like, "Oh man, that's not, you gotta listen." So because
It's disrespectful.
oh, okay, because he's one of my like absolute favorite vocalists. His voice is crazy. I just love his overall talent, but his voice is so uniquely his. And he didn't. I have a special appreciation for people. I love the runs. I love when you can run. I know you know your boy Wanye be killing it, and so I love that. But I have a special appreciation for people who just sing the notes, and if they do a run, it's not like a crazy run, but you know they just stay in that zone. And Mr. Donny Hathaway does that. He stays in that zone. He is like straightforward. But yeah, and when I listened after they had made that critique, I was like, you ain't had to say all that. But I guess some of his songs were kind of somber. You know, they were so gospel influenced that that's kind of like what it felt like. But
he was also going through some things.
And he was going, yes, absolutely. And it definitely reflected in his music. But the song that I chose to my fave from him, that I had to think about what songs that I keep on repeat the longest, you know, because I'm a repeat person. That's what I do. And so this song was on his Everything Is Everything album. And it's actually the title is in French, and but it means I love you in French, and it doesn't sound like a funeral dirge, and it's uplifting, it's uplifted, and so that's the reason why I chose this song. It's called Je vous aime. I hope I said that with a great accent.
I'm not the one to correct you.
Well, then I said it right then. If it sounded right to both of us, then it was right. Je vous aime from the incredible legend Donny Hathaway.
I just want to say I love you, I love you. I just want to say I love you. You've been good to me so long that I want to say right now, je vous aime beaucoup, je vous aime beaucoup. That means I love you. Yes. Not too many times that I would praise you, but I just want to say that I love you, baby, yes I do. Of all the things needed by a man, I think you should know it's you that I need more, 'cause I love you, baby. I love you. Oh, I love you, baby, yes I do. I love you. Times haven't always been so very good for us, baby. No, no. You stood by my side. Yes, you did. Oh, and that makes me love you. And baby, darling, the road was mighty rough sometimes. Held on to my hand. You held on to my hand. Oh, that makes me love you. Oh, all the things, baby, needed by man. I think you should know you that I need more, 'cause I love you, baby. I love you, I love you. I said I love you, baby. I love you. Listen, baby, just be true to me. Just be true to me. want you to be faithful, 'cause my love is true. I just want to say, my love is here to stay, 'cause I love you. I love you. Oh, baby, I love you. Don't you know, I want to say that I love you. I try to show you, baby, that I love you. Every day, sugar, I want you to know that I love you, baby. Yes, I do. Jerusalem, woo! Oh, baby, I said I love you, baby. You better believe it now. Oh, baby, I want to say,
I heard that. And welcome back to I Heard That. And of course, Donny Hathaway, when we talk about goats,
Yes.
he has certainly influenced just about your favorite singer knows about Donny Hathaway, has tried to imitate or at least borrow from his canon, his style in some way. And so that is an excellent way to begin the program, my friends. Thank you. And I would like to match the quality of your first selection.
Okay.
Mine. Because when it comes to the female vocal canon,
yes,
then people know, I tell people all the time that I have a holy trinity.
Yes, you do.
That influences me. One is Patty Austin. One is Donna Summer. And at the tippy top of my vocal trinity is the first artist that I'm going to share with you all tonight. Now, because my parents were not cool, I do not have them to thank for making sure that this woman's voice and repertoire were a part of my life.
Yeah.
I always give credit to my big brother Donnie, my late brother Donnie, because he was a DJ. So for all of the non-cool of my parents who were stuck, you know, in an era older than them, basically, you know, just in terms of their musical taste, my brother, because he DJ parties, always had funk somewhere up in the mix. And so, you know, I feel like my exposure to Parliament Funkadelic and almost all of the funk bands and that early groovy soul music is because of Donnie.
Okay.
And so he gifted me with Rufus.
Yes.
And Rufus gifted the world with Chaka Khan.
Yes.
Now, you know, when you say Chaka Khan, who just celebrated a birthday last week.
Yes, she did.
When you say Chaka Khan, then people immediately go to I Feel For You. They go to Through the Fire, and there's a whole lot of other greatest hits that people immediately think of.
Right.
This particular song, it's one of those things where, you know, you listen to an album when people still did that.
Right.
Listen to an album, and this one stopped me cold. Like, what am I hearing? And so I had to include it on this particular show. This is from one of her first solo albums, titled Simply Chaka. And I have heard the version of this song sung by the man who wrote it. And all honor and respect due. But, you know, it's one of those things, like, once you've heard Superstar, I love the Carpenters. But once Luther sang
Superstar, yes.
It was done. It's done, broke forever. That's it.
Yeah, it became his.
And so I can only hear Chaka's voice singing this particular song. It is based on the story of Moses from the Bible. And so for those of you who weren't aware of Chaka's gospel influence with it, I mean, you know, the sheer power of her voice should let you feel that. Yes. But again, this is from the album Chaka. Let me get it ready to go. And I just want you to appreciate the ramp up of this song, even though it's slow. So you will understand why she is at the top of my vocal trinity. This one is called Roll Me Through the Rushes.
Roll me through the rushes like Moses. Roll me through the rushes just like Moses. Roll me through the rushes. Guide me to the new woman who waits. Current leave me on the banks by the cottage where we will dine with silver cups and golden plates. Roll me through the rushes like Moses. Roll me through the rushes just like Moses. I'm well prepared for my last journey. You know I've worked all my life to make this basket strong, but a woman alone on the river, she can't stay in the water too long. I've been chilled, I've lost my will, stayed away from the river much too long. I feel my strength in this day-to-day city till I found out that my strength was gone. River, roll me through the rushes like Moses. Roll me through the rushes just like Moses. Just like Moses. Make my journey, make it short and straight. Let me lose this hardness that I got now, Lord. Water wash away all traces of hate. I will do what you say. If you just show me roll me through the rushes like Moses. Roll me through the rushes just like Moses. Roll me through the rushes like Moses. Roll me through the rushes just like Moses on the I heard that.
Whew. I'm telling you.
Hmm.
So, first of all, welcome back. Our comment section has been filling up as we've been playing our first couple of songs for you this evening. And so to Tashawana, no, my dear, I appreciate you being observant. You did miss the first song. We had a Donny Hathaway classic to start, and then we brought you in with some Shaka. So our theme for the evening, for those of you who are just tuning in, is Surprise Goats. These are some of Sharisa, my favorite artists of all time. And these are the songs that you might not expect us to pick that we love from these artists that we love. So hopefully we are deepening everyone's knowledge and appreciation for these superstars, whether they are superstars in the public eye or just in our hearts.
Yes.
But we are celebrating their music tonight in honor of Soul Sanctuary's 20th anniversary, which comes up on Sunday. I've got another announcement that I want to share with you all at the end of the program related to that. But that is why we're pulling out our greatest hits. This is all about making sure that we are elevating the culture and celebrating those people who have stuck by for years doing this thing, and they're doing it at a high level. And we want to celebrate that music.
I just want to interject. You know, Stephanie is talking about 20 years Soul Sanctuary. There have been a lot of, she ain't gonna say it, I'm gonna say it, because I have to do this sometimes. She's very modest, you know. There have been so many major and influential entertainment people, folks that have come through the stages, the pages, the screens, the everything Soul Sanctuary. I don't be bragging about my friend being like, you know, deep in the industry, but I'm just gonna let y'all know that she's sort of like a big deal. 20 years built from zero up to this, and still going strong. I'm very proud of you, Stephanie. I'm glad to be a part of Soul Sanctuary. I could run down the list of the folks, you know. The last one that she's the last artist that Stephanie featured on the Soul Sanctuary page on Facebook was Jasmine Sullivan, who I was introduced to by Stephanie when Jasmine was either 12 or 15. I can't remember. I might have come late, a little bit late to her entry, but she was still a youngin'. And James Ntume, who just recently passed. I could go Mint Condition. I could go down the list. Robert Glasper. I could go down the list. So this woman is being very modest. But when I say that she has an imprint, she has left her imprint on the industry, particularly in Philadelphia, but not only there. That's why 20 years of Soul Sanctuary is something absolutely to celebrate. I'm very, very proud that, you know, when it started, here I got the first Soul Sanctuary. There was this Soul Sanctuary CD. Okay. So I'm just saying, you know, and like I said, that stage has been blazed by plenty of folks who, you know, Stephanie, Jill Scott. Oh, yeah, and she even on Jill Scott daggone the first album. Who was Jill Scott?
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yes, we gonna I'm just trying to say she ain't gonna brag on herself, so I'm gonna take the moment to brag on my friend. And I'm very, very proud of you, Stephanie. I'm so glad that I've been a part, and I've watched the organization, it grow from way back when until now. So, and with that, I'm gonna shut up. But I'm just saying, she was over here being very modest. But 20 years is absolutely something to celebrate, and with all the noise of a New Year's Eve celebration. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And it has been a journey. And I will say that sometimes I look back and I go, oh yeah, I did do that, huh? But this sharing is part of the reason why it was all possible. The entire mission of Soul Sanctuary from the very beginning was to create a community of culture, to make sure that people knew that they're not the weirdos who like this far out music or whatever, or these artists that nobody else has heard of, that there are a community of people who appreciate learning and growing in the culture and making sure that it's supported. So you all checking us out every other Wednesday here on the show, you all are a part of the mission. So thank you. Yes. Thank you for joining us. Yes. And certainly, as we talk about soul and sanctuary, your elements as your goats are a part of that conversation, because they reminded us from the very beginning that if it wasn't about spirit, it wasn't worth nothing.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I have to say that this band, if you know me and I say band, you already know what band I'm talking about. You don't even have to. I love bands, but you know, if I say my favorites, there's only one guess, and you got it right. Earth, Wind, and Fire from, oh my gosh, I remember reading the liner notes of this album when I was like 4, like listening to the album when I was a kid. I was a kid. And ever since then I've always been intrigued and still all in all. I have all their albums too, but that's because I wanted to have that music close to me. And one of the reasons why I picked this particular song is because Earth, Wind, and Fire is known for their horn section, the Phoenix horns. And this song puts them right in the front. There are no lyrics. There's no singing on this song. So that's why it's maybe a little surprise to you. What would you think I would pick as my favorite song from my GOAT band? And it's none of those, even though I love them. I know every word, every whatever, because that's again what I do. But this song is really just, like I said, represents that horn section is front and center. It's from their album called Spirit, which they dedicated. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I forgot. It's from I Am. Now on I Am, the first song on I Am in the Stone, that is the best. If you don't have I Am, get it, if only for this song, that song called In the Stone. The intro, again, the horns. And
if people have seen Drumline, they used it in their halftime show.
Yes.
The big halftime show in the movie.
And that's a popular song for HBCU bands to play, because they have huge horn sections.
It's grooving.
And so, it makes sense. But for me, although In the Stone is my song, and I mean, I'll blast that before the intro. This song here is called Rock That. And listen to the horns, man. They, even when they're not front and center, when they're like coming, you can hear them creeping up, and then they just bam back on you like that. So I'm sorry, I'm going crazy. This is my song right here. So this is called Rock That by Earth, Wind, and Fire from their album I Am.
All right, Sharice. Now I'm gonna blame you because I'm gonna have that horn line playing. That's one of those things that sticks with you, and it'll just pop
Yes,
up at the most random times later in the evening.
yes. Let me tell you that if a lot of people may have never heard that, I'm telling you, it stays with you. If you want to get that song, you got to get the album. Well, you may not have to get the album, but get that song. If you never knew why people always talk about Earth, Wind, and Fire's horn section, they have a name, the Phoenix Horns. You see what I'm saying? There's a whole reason for it, and that song there is your best example. And so, listen. Besides the fact that Verdine was playing. I meant to say listen for the bass too, because he was killing it as well. But you definitely know why their horn section is world renowned, because that song there tells you if you didn't know. Just like they're my favorite, favorites.
Thank you kindly. And while we're talking about instrumentalists, while we're talking about just how you listen to the sounds that compose the music, right? Because we can get caught up in the vocalist and not really pay attention to what's going on behind the vocalist.
Right.
And so part of the reason why I'm bringing this next brother to the table is because I love his voice. He is very high up on my list in terms of favorite voices.
Okay.
But I'm just as enchanted with his songwriting. And Sharice was with me when I met this brother, because we were in New Orleans at Jazz Fest, and a very non-jazz artist was on the stage at Congo Square. And in order to get to Jazz Fest, because unless you're driving, if you're a local, you might drive to Jazz Fest. But most people who are in town for the touristy part of it, you stay at hotels and you take the shuttle,
right,
in order to get there. So lo and behold, Sharice and I were going to see, and I'm featuring the main artist later in the program, so I won't get to her. I'll say that, so she was on stage, her band and everything else. And then we caught the shuttle back downtown, headed back to my friend's place where we were staying. And Sharice needed to go to the ATM. So we're there, and lo and behold, we see this artist and her band hanging out in the lobby. So then we, because we Black, nobody is ever too big for you to have a conversation.
Right.
And so I don't remember exactly how it came to pass. I just remember that we ended up standing down there for like the next 45 minutes having a conversation with the crew.
Yes.
And that is what began my friendship with this artist. When I started a series for Soul Sanctuary called Soul Speak, which is all about the beginnings of me formally interviewing artists that I liked, he happened to be in town. And when I said I wanted to interview him, and this is before I had all this high tech that we have now, y'all, he came to my house and had tea in my den, and I recorded our conversation on cassette. So that is how humble the beginnings were. But the fact that an artist that I had met on a humbug,
I'm telling you,
believed enough in what I was trying to do with this conversation around culture, that he would come to my house and sit in my den and just tell me all his business, was a beautiful thing. And so I have supported everything he has ever done. I have done a listening party on the podcast for him. I shot him live in concert. He is just a beautiful human being and a very talented one. I am speaking about the gentleman known to the world as Anthony David. And so from his album, 3 Chords and the Truth, which is a Bob Dylan quote, interestingly enough, I share with you this song. It is the first song. So in the movie High Fidelity, they have a moment where they talk about the best debut album track ones of all time. So like album. So side 1, track 1. Mm-hmm. And this is one of mine, because it's not his debut album, but this song just has a special place in my heart. And I hope that it will force you to sing along by the time it gets to the end of the song. This song is called Yes.
touched, I felt a bolt of lightning shooting straight through me. I don't know if I'm ready yet for what you got for me, but I got a taste of it now, and I want you, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. It's what makes the world go round, and it's what makes the rivers flow, and it's what makes the sparrows sing, and it's what makes the flowers grow, and it's what gives our babies breath, it's what gives the sun its shine, it's what makes me feel this way, and it's what's gonna make you mine. Yeah, yeah. My whole life passed right before my eyes and came to the part about you. We could shiver at the same vibration if you're nervous too. I've forgotten everything I practiced, don't know what to do. If it's alright later on, can I call you? Get to know you much better. It's what makes the world go round, and it's what makes the rivers flow, and it's what makes the sparrows sing, and it's what makes the flowers grow, and it's what gives our babies breath. It's what gives the sun its shine. It's what makes me feel this way, and it's what's gonna make you mine, and it's what makes the world go round, and it's what makes the rivers flow, and it's what makes the sparrows sing, and it's what makes the flowers grow. It's what gives our babies breath, it's what gives the sun its shine, it's what makes me feel this way, and it's what's gonna make you mine, 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 it's what's gonna make you mine.
I heard that. Ooh, what did I do? What? Oh no, Sharice dropped. That's why I was like, I'm going to click her on, and all of a sudden she's not there, y'all. So she must have had a signal issue. I'm sure she will join back in just a moment. But yes, Thomasina, thank you. Oh, here she comes.
Yeah,
I went to go click you on, and all of a sudden you were gone.
I'm trying to take notes. You hit the wrong tab. Yes.
Okay.
I'm here.
Well,
I'm back.
That's okay. Welcome back. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, all that Sag energy that I know you're familiar with. Tony's one of my favorites. He's one of my favorites
Absolutely.
for all kinds of reasons. But I wanted to just put this back up because Thomasina made note, and we always want to make sure that people understand the connections, right? So Tina Marie is an artist who would often quote herself in another song. And I always appreciate that about like listening for the that's the lyric from that, right?
Yes.
And so Tony has said on record how much a fan he was of Level 42. And so Thomasina is noting that in his song, the vamp of this, you hear more than once in Tony songs because he loved those words so much. So, the whole feel, the whole vibe, the rasp in the voice, I'm a fan.
All that.
And so I hope.
I am a fan of that, of Something About You by Level 42 also. I have that song. I had to buy it because it kept coming to mind too often. So I needed to be able to hear it whenever I felt like it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for that, 80s pop.
Yes.
It has influenced us all on some level, whether you know it or not.
and Tashawana, I did put in the comments the Donny Hathaway song that I shared earlier, but it was called Je vous aime. It's in French, off of his album Everything is Everything, and it means I love you.
Yes. Excelente. Well, speaking of super duper stars and all-time favorites, we had shout out to my boy Len Ward, because when I posted earlier that we were doing this show, he was on it and he picked another song from the same album, the album that all fans of this particular artist, who deep down fans, we will say that this album is our favorite album from this artist. But Sharice, I will let you take it from there.
Absolutely. So, all my people know, you already know. If we talk about a favorite artist, you already know who my favorite of all the favorites is. And so much so that it's my first musical purchase. My first purchase of music was by this artist. And it was this album that I'm pulled this song from, and another album called, well, it wasn't called anything. It was the E.T. album. He actually narrated the E.T. story and recorded a song for it, an original song. And so I was very torn between that song, which is called Someone in the Dark.
Someone in the Dark, yes.
I almost picked it, but I was.
But let me just tell people who are collectors, if you love that song but do not want to buy the E.T. album just to get it, it is on the remastered version of Thriller.
It is, yes. You can get it. But when I bought this song, when I bought that album, the E.T. album, and this album Off the Wall, I bought them in vinyl because that was what was being produced at the time. And I bought it from The Wiz, which was downtown Newark, Broad Street and Raymond Boulevard. We used to be The Wiz. If you don't know, now you know. My very, very, very first purchase of music, my love of music, my collection began with this album, Off the Wall, and the E.T. album. And so when I think Off the Wall, when you think Off the Wall, you probably think, Rock With You, She's Out of My Life. You think
Don't Stop Till You Get Enough.
He's a person who, another one who opens an album like no other. Like he picks the perfect song to open his albums. But because we're going with, the unexpected favorites, I had to go with this song, which is called Girlfriend, which his boy, what's my boy name? Paul McCartney. Wrote this song. He collaborated with Paul McCartney. He didn't.
Yes.
It's not a duet, but he wrote the song, and so it's a cute. It was a cute song. That's
adorable. I loved it.
Yes, the whole album, as Stephanie mentioned, the whole Off the Wall album from start to finish. You don't need to skip. You don't want to skip. You're repeating it, over and over again. But this song, Girlfriend, is just so cute, and I love it. And I love it because it really captured his voice in that time. It wasn't him trying to be sexy. It wasn't him trying to be, hood. It was just him singing, in his full voice. He could do it all. But I really love the simplicity of this song, and it's really cute. And so, Girlfriend from Michael Jackson's Off the Wall is my next song.
tell your boyfriend, yeah, tell him exactly what we're doing, yeah, tell him what you do to me late at night when the wind is free. Girlfriend, I'm gonna show you boyfriend, yeah, show him the letters I've been saving, yeah, show him how you feel inside and how love could not be denied. Oh no, we're gonna have to tell them you only be a girlfriend of mine. We're gonna have to tell him you only be a girlfriend of mine. Girlfriend, you better tell your boyfriend, yeah, tell him exactly what we're doing, yeah, tell him what he needs to know, or he may never let you go. Yeah, we're gonna have to tell him you only be a girlfriend of mine. I'm gonna be your
I heard that.
This is my boy.
Good, wholesome, whole family can sit around and listen to it music. And shout out to Paul McCartney on the writing tip. I gotta say that because again I didn't have cool parents. I got the Beatles later, right?
Yeah.
But shout out to Disney. Was it Disney Plus? Disney Plus for the Beatles documentary.
Oh yeah.
Because I still haven't watched the third part, but watching the first two parts, which is already epic. That's already what, almost 6 hours worth of film.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But just seeing the drama behind where the Beatles were at that point in their career, but also watching them rehearse just makes you really listen and makes you understand what a phenomenon they truly were.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
How
I
cool the music was.
need to watch that. It's so much stuff to watch. Stuff slips through the cracks for me, but I'm gonna go and watch that one.
You could stream every day, all day, and still not catch everything that is available. So
I'm telling you.
you know, no issues. All right. So, you can't really counter that. Because, it's just a good song. It's MJ,
Yeah.
But in this conversation about music and legends and how you work, I've given you the story about how I met Anthony David.
Yeah.
Well, the part B to that is that he co-wrote and sang background for India Ari.
Yes.
And so that was our crew hanging out in the lobby of the hotel talking that day. And and so this whole idea, everybody who knows me knows I'm a Libra. And so I'm always going to vibe off of other Libra energy when I recognize it. I recognize these things that we go through. And early in her career, India Arie went through it. She went through it. She was signed to Motown. And, Motown, even though it is a legendary label, at various points of its history, they have not been able to compete with the big conglomerates.
Right.
And the year that India Arie's debut album, Acoustic Soul, came out was the same year that Alicia Keys' debut album came out. And Alicia Keys was part of the Clive Davis machine. Yeah. They were up for all of the same awards, and Alicia won all of them.
All of them. Yeah. All
of them. And then it became in the background, India went through a whole bunch of legal stuff. It was, she seriously contemplated whether, she really wanted to do this for a living, right? Because you can love something, you can want to sing, but wanting to do it for a living, for this to be your career, sometimes the stuff that goes, industry rule number 4080. It happens a lot. And this song that I picked speaks to that. This is not the one they're going to play on the radio. Absolutely not. But I love this song even more because not only is it her singing the realness of the drama that she went through and how it kind of questioned whether this was her path, but she brought in another person who understood what it meant to be a woman up against the machine and who is a legend in her own right and also a Libra. So for those of you who want to understand what all these feels and emotion are about as it's poured into how we feel about this culture and the love, then from her album Testimony, Volume 2, Love and Politics, this is India Arie and MC Lyte with a song called Psalms 23.
Can't get the best of me. Tell them what you see, Miss Irene. I see money come between my best friend and me. I see old friends become new enemies. Tell them where you've been. Through a couple of litigations, I've been through character assassination. They tried to put their stick in between my wheels, but they can't stop my motivation. Nothing will. Oh, through the valley where the shadow of death is, I fear no evil, cause I'm protected. Me shall prosper, cause I'm walking with the Heavenly Father, and I do believe that I'm gonna prosper, cause I'm walking with the prayers of my mother. You won't get the best of me, even though you broke my heart. I'm gonna pick up the pieces. You won't get the best of me, even though you broke my heart. I'm gonna pick up the pieces. Maybe this isn't the life for me. I was thinking maybe I should leave the music industry. Yeah. I've been betrayed by the people I've trusted. I've been seriously disgusted. They tried to put their stick in between my wheels, but they can't stop my motivation. Nothing will. And though through the valley where the shadow of death is, I fear no evil, cause I'm protected. No weapon formed against me shall prosper, cause I'm walking with the Heavenly Father. Hey, and I do believe that I'm gonna prosper, cause I'm walking with the prayers of my mother. You won't get the best of me, even pieces. Stop me. You won't get the best of me, even though you got my money. I'm gonna pick up the pieces.
You can't get the best of me cause of my destiny. Not to be less than me, but to be more, so don't question me. I came and I conquered, I soared to new heights and still I explore. In my fight to survive, light still too bright. Keep my eyes on new sights, I continue to play. So when you try hurting me, even deserting me, know that I'm designed to overcome adversities. Wanna bring out the worst in me, it won't happen, cause I take responsibility for my action. My tenacity, well it has to be everlasting, cause even when it comes to backstabbers, I'm laughing.
You won't get the best of me, even though you broke my heart. I'm gonna pick up the pieces. You won't get the best of me, even though you got my money. I'm gonna pick up the pieces.
I'ma be the best of me, pick up the pieces.
You won't get the best of me, even though you broke my heart. I'm gonna pick up the pieces.
I'ma be the best of me, pick up the pieces.
You won't get the best of me, even though you got my money. I'm gonna pick up the pieces.
I'ma be the best of me, pick up the pieces.
Get the best of me, because by the grace of God, I'm gonna pick up the pieces. You won't get the best of me, because by the grace of God, I'm gonna pick up the pieces. You won't get the best of me, because by the grace of God, I'm gonna pick up the pieces. You won't get the best of me, because by the grace of God, I'm gonna pick up the pieces. I heard that.
Girl, I probably should have held out. You know, listen,
I approve.
that one gets me.
Yes.
By the end,
Yes.
that you know, with the vamp, when you keep hitting that line, that
Because
one
she
gets me,
meant
because
that.
that girl knows a little something about testimony, y'all.
Absolutely.
That's what that was, and I recognize that testimony. Let me just say,
I'm sure.
so I love that song.
Yes.
I love that song.
Absolutely. The whole album. I'm gonna say that about every song.
That's why there are goats. That's
Oh my
why these are
God.
our goats.
Yes. You need Shamir says she loves India. I love India too. She's one of those artists who's you can put her album on if you're driving. You can put her album on if you go to the beach and just be sitting there. You can put that album on, especially the other one. I know it's her album titles are so long, but there's the song that she has. I know that there's a guy, I can't think of the name of that song. When you at the beach or you at a park or just whatever outside, like around,
God is real is the title.
I know that God is real. Yes. That's that. Yeah, she's just one of those artists that is so in touch with real life. And your partner over there acting up
randomly out of the clear blue. Sometimes he reacts like that to your voice, though.
He does, because he misses me. He want to jump all over me like he tried. Y'all, Stephanie dog tried to kill me.
He's running around looking for you, quite literally.
But yes, I love India Ari too. All of her albums I have, and I probably don't have the last one, but
Worthy, you got to get it.
Absolutely, I know I have to get it. I'll probably get it tonight.
So
this is what this show was. It brings to mind. Oh, I forgot I got to get that. So
right, exactly. So your next song, is by one of my all-time goats, who I still have not had the pleasure of meeting
yet.
And I know that I should not dally with time.
Yeah, Don't.
But my roommates, my roommate, even though Sharice was one of my college roommates too,
Yeah.
but I had one roommate in particular tell me that jokingly one day, she was like, we were about to steal this one and break it, right? Because that's how often I listen to this particular album. So I really chuckled when I saw that you were going to share a song.
Wait a minute though. They didn't threaten me to take it and break it, but my roommates stole it because I was playing it too much on repeat and hid it. Like this, I'm serious. Like hid this CD from me because I was playing it back to back to back to back, and it drove them absolutely nuts. I'm sorry. I did it to my mother growing up. I did it to my roommates when I was in school. We never had that issue because we probably would have been trying to repeat the same albums anyway. We were good. But
exactly.
My sophomore year, roommates took this CD and hid it from me because I was playing too much. So we had the same experience with this album, and that tells you something. When two people in two different rooms in the same dorm, but in two different rooms have the same experience with one album, that tells you that album got to be phenomenal.
Yes.
And I was so glad that we added a bonus song tonight. I was like, I wonder if I should just put it on my list, and she just noticed that I had 5 songs instead of 4. But you like, want to do an honorable mention? I didn't. How fast did I do this honorable mention as opposed to the other songs? It was like,
yes,
I already know who it is. I already know. This song is from an album. Well, like the mute. What do we even? He's like a landmark. This man has been through how many decades of performance, and
6.
He was a contemporary of Miles Davis and Ray Charles and all of them, and he's still here with us.
Mm-hmm.
He has produced so much music. He has touched probably. I was about to lie probably, but like the other artists that we have featured, he has worked with at least most of them. I can't even off the top of my head, but definitely with Michael Jackson, and that would be no other than Quincy Jones. And for the longest time, before I knew who was who, when I was listening to music, I didn't realize that I was listening to Quincy Jones music for decades before I even, well, maybe not decades, but for years before I knew that I was listening to Quincy Jones music. Like his influence it's just you can't, it's not a debatable factor. He's just always been there, and he
came along before the term super producer was even created. That is what he is,
the originator of that, because the man, he worked in multiple genres of music and with countless artists, including, as I already mentioned, my boy Michael Jackson. And this song is from the album Back on the Block. And as you know, on that album, he had legends. He had all of them. Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald, Take 6 was on there, Barry White, El DeBarge, James Ingram, all these people who he had worked with for years and years, and people that he, it was probably his first time working with them, like Kool Moe Dee and the other rappers on the album, and of course, Tevin Campbell. So, but this particular song, which I don't know, if people are so familiar. Of course, me having felt like I was in the recording studio because I listened to the song so much, it was a no-brainer for me, because there's the song brings you, I have this thing with Africa and us being Black, and so the love that I have for the continent, having never been there, the love that I have for my people, and the love I have for my friends and my family, my people, my whole circle. This song here, especially when you get to like the almost end part, I don't even know what you call it, but like this, it moves me. It touches me at my very core, this song. And of course, he's featuring my girl Saida Garrett. Luther Vandross is in the background.
Yes.
when you listen, especially when they're speaking, but definitely during that chorus part, you'll hear Luther Vandross if you listen closely. But I mean, he wasn't the only superstar in the background, but Luther Vandross' voice pokes out of any background work he's doing.
It does.
You'll hear him too. But this song is called "The Place You Find Love," and it's from Quincy Jones' Back on the Block album. If you don't have it, please get it. It's a wonder of a compilation album.
Mm-hmm.
It was raining when I met you. You were soaking wet, no time to be impressed. And I remember so much later on, I knew that you were someone I would not forget. Everybody's searching, hungry for the glamour. You know, too many hearts are in a rush. But no matter how you try to, you can't explain the places you find love. You can't explain. No, I can feel it all around me. Need to find the place where feelings can be saved. It's not money that buys happiness. It's not the shine of silver that puts the heart to rest. Everybody's pushing, the clock is always running, and no one ever seems to have enough. And when you least expect it, you come about the places you find love. Remember, in a flash the feeling can hit you. After all the time that it's missed you, you deep inside to find a secret heart. Yeah, yeah. Look around and notice your fire, and for once you're not even trying. I love you like a million times, like a million times through. It's a river, never stopping, winding in and out. You should never doubt it will lead you to the ocean someday. There's no way to fight it, let it carry you away. Oh, everybody's dreaming, waiting for the feeling, for that moment when they finally rise above. But it's always in the giving that gets you to the places
I heard that.
And woo! I'm sorry. That built so much energy up in me.
And I
gotta yell right now. I'm trying to hold it in.
but I want you to know how my heart broke a little bit when you said, and I'm realizing that the times that as much as we have traveled together, the times that I have gone to Africa, you have not been on the trips with me.
I have not been to Africa yet.
We must cure that.
Because
I have a deep down in my spirit need to visit South Africa because they like my music down there.
Okay.
And Nigeria, where my people are from.
Yes.
So we got to fix that.
Yes, absolutely. It's one of those things that I feel like I could do it more than once in 1 year because there's so much there, so much there that we have not been exposed to, that we have, but we, I don't know. Just the timing, I guess, has kept me from over there. But I'm telling you, the draw, the energy is very strong. That song just had me. Whoo! I feel like I need to holler.
And I want to address. Tiffany asked a question. She was like, "Patty Austin's in there, isn't she?"
Oh yeah,
of course she is. Wait, but part of the reason of that, which I didn't know until I saw her here again at New Orleans Jazz Fest.
Yes.
I saw Patty Austin.
Yes, and she was like, wasn't she out? Like, wasn't she like, I feel like I met her. Wasn't she like out in one of the tents or something? I feel like
probably. But she is Quincy Jones' goddaughter.
Yes.
So he's the one who first heard the jazz in her. Her father was a saxophonist. And so, she was around the music all the time. He heard the song, the music in her and the jazz in her. Yeah. And so he lifted her up and put her out there, and look at her now.
She stayed, as I said, she stayed on a Quincy Jones record.
Yes.
And
that's what you're supposed to do, doggone it.
And he did.
Your people are supposed to be the ones you bring along with you as you rise.
That's right.
And you push them to do what they do. So that is what it is about, and I'm thankful because of LeQ, right. He gifted the world and me in particular with Patty Austin, because everything about her, everything I adore.
So effortless. Like to me, she's up there with that same vocal styling of Roberta Flack, where you just get to enjoy their voice.
Yes.
It's so like they can do stuff, but it's like they really just stick to just letting us just bask in the glory of the beautiful voice that they have.
Yes.
And I love that.
Absolutely. And so, me. Those of you who know me know that we couldn't do a show about goats without me getting some hip hop in the mix, because it is who I am.
Yes, ma'am.
And in particular, I have no holds barred. If you ask me who is my greatest hip hop group, there's no argument for me. Right. My goats of hip hop as a group are De La Soul.
Yes.
And they, of course, they've been in the industry for a long time.
Very long.
And they have a lot of albums.
A lot.
There are a lot of people who only know the big crossover hits. And that is the reason why I picked this particular song as a counter narrative to the De La that everybody thinks they know and love.
Right.
De La are very subversive, and they are very for our people.
Absolutely.
And regardless of how much you think about, backpacking granola, as I've been described at some point, or, kind of bohemian and, the universal, they are that, but they are also very much for our people.
Yes.
And so when you have to deal with trying to be pro-Black and pro-hip-hop and pro-authentic hip-hop, and not something that is manufactured in a lab for the public's enjoyment, then you run into a lot of issues.
Yes.
And so this particular album is all about that. This is when they first started having their issues with Tommy Boy. And this whole idea of how you're going to remain popular as you are maturing and your subject matter takes on different things. There's a refrain in this song, but it appears elsewhere in the album that says, "We might blow up, but we won't go pop." And that is a particular special place in my heart. But this song samples scenes from one of the favorite films of the Black canon, The Five Heartbeats. It also features a special guest appearance from the late great Guru of the group Gang Starr. So for those of you who think you know De La Soul, if you have never heard anything from the album Balloon Mind State, then allow me to introduce you to a different edge of De La you might not know. Again, this song is called Patty Duke. And for those of you who have children around, there's a warning. There are bad words in this one.
Auntie Mary Alice, close your ears.
Don't close them, just be prepared.
Okay.
Why do we have to cross over? Why are niggas always crossing over something, huh? What's the matter, huh? They can accept our music as long as they can't see our faces.
One, two, you got it.
Running through the trenches, running through the trenches, running through the trenches, it's the Patty Duke. It's the Patty what? Running through the trenches, running through the trenches, it's the Patty Duke. Running through the trenches, running through the trenches, running through the trenches, it's the Patty Duke. It's the Patty what? Running through the trenches, running through the trenches, it's the
Just
Patty
the other
Duke.
day I got a starter kit.
An M is a terrible thing to waste.
Caught the face from the backs of the border of the mind state. I pay patrol to a fraud.
Nah, it ain't happening.
Not odd to make it even. Robbing and thieving is one who infiltrates where the Colgate found. No, remember Mondays before I sniff frequencies.
Well, it started in the year of 78.
But it's 93. Oh, should I say 94? For my style is much more.
I said, come in,
Come in.
come on.
Come out into my reservoir as a max and men. Your bastard style has just been stuck by a sticker with refrigerator liquor. What if? How's about? Why would? Never thought that the napalm would bust your jeans.
Mash it up, the one with the beard. Mega mustache, the beat. Deep under sheet, covered his hip. Hosting all bets with, watch out, Mr. John. It's Jimmy and the Jet, standing on the pier. I'm known as the farmer, cultivating, mating without mending. Bending, compromising any of my style to gain a smile. Listen while you hear it. There's no pink in my slip. I reckon that the rhythm and the blues and the rap got me red. While the boys from Tommy playing bridge cross into a larger community. Yet the sooner see I have a brother named Luck, a nigga named Drez, a groupie named Cassandra caught bobbing on the head of a baby named Chris. I miss the kid who put wreck when saying
Africa and our Sammy B's on the set.
Running through the trenches, running through the trenches, running through the trenches, it's the Patty Duke. It's the Patty what? Running through the trenches, running through the trenches, it's the Patty Duke.
Prevention against suck MC.
Prevention against suck MC.
Prevention against suck MC. And now,
Prevention against suck MC.
We decided to change the cover a little bit because we see the big picture. Negroes and white folks buying this album. Negroes and white folks buying this album. Everybody's gonna know who this group is. We just felt that the picture wasn't as important as it was that we succeed in crossing over.
crossover ain't nothing but a double cross. And once we lose our odds, we're never gonna get them back. Cause you know they try to change our sound. Let no man put asunder, severing the flukes I never blunder. Cashing all the checks on the mic. I'm like cherry to the bush, grand plug wonder. Funk to the fame of games. Hoods, bridges sagging with my woods down under. They can be raised with the feminine praise in conjunction with no chocolate in the mix. White boy Roy cannot feel it, but the first to try it, steal it, dilute it, pollute it, kill it. I see him infiltrating to the masses, and when they leech in, I'ma shoot them all in their ass.
running through the trenches, running through the trenches, running through the trenches. It's the Patty Do. It's the Patty what? Running through the trenches, running through the trenches. It's the Patty Do.
It might blow up, but it won't go pop. It might blow up, but it won't go pop. It might blow up, but it won't go pop. It might blow up, but it won't go pop. It might blow up, but it won't go pop. It might blow up, but it won't go pop. It might blow up, but it won't go pop. It might blow up, but it won't go pop.
I shed light in not skin. I ain't from Europe. Afro connects at the root of the retina of the third. Mum's the word when you're blind, baby. Blind to the fact. Don't rest in Compton, so I don't own the gap. But respect is clear crystal, cause Millie got a pistol, and she's down with me. While the most wild boy child to the old school legitimate soul. Talker of the many paragraphs ago. Walker of the plenty broken cabs ago. Phantom of the phrase black in many ways, cause I see her running through the trenches, coming in to rent my style.
I'm not the one to fuck with.
I'm locking you
I'm
out.
just not the one to fuck with, so check it. Yo, y'all don't know who I am? Listen up, son. Peace to my man Premier. And y'all better guard your trenches, cause we running through them.
Over to us, huh? I never seen 5 niggas on Elvis Presley's album cover.
I heard that. And I did hear that for sure.
Oh, loud and clear.
Yeah, so I want to, before we move on to our final songs of the evening, I just want to address Tasha Wanda asked me had I ever met De La.
Tell the story.
And I can't, we don't have enough time for me to tell the story, but just understand that the story involves a little bit of onstage molestation on behalf of a very good friend of mine.
And it wasn't me. It was not.
No, it wasn't Sharice. But it is a story for the ages. It's those moments where you wish you had a camera in your head so that people could see it and laugh like you do at the memory of it. But yes. So it was a very awkward situation, but it ended up being a great meeting. And Posdnuos is my favorite for all kinds of reasons. But he's the one I ended up talking to because of this incident. And it just it opened the door to a friendship. We exchange music and all kinds of other stuff. So just good things. Shout out Kelvin Mercer. You my people.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I had to save this one. I had to save both of these songs for the end for us, because if I almost got choked up over Psalms 23, this song should not do that to me. But again, it's the simplicity of the message and the voice that delivers it. So take it away, Sharice.
I totally 100% agree. Of all the albums and all the songs that were released by this living legend, I promise when we decided on this theme, this song just popped into my head. It was like I didn't have to think about it, and so everything else came after. And it's because of the sentiment in the song that is just absolute. It has always touched me. This song has always touched me in this way, especially the bridge. I can't even take it.
Right.
but but the song, the feelings I had resurged when there was a little clip of this man singing that part of the song, the bridge, with Jasmine Sullivan. It was a black and white video. I don't even know what the scenario was with the context, but they were singing this song together, and I was like, oh, I love this song. This is like, and it's one of those that is one of the very popular songs. I could have dug, because I have his albums. I could have dug in there and grabbed something, but the first song that came to mind is the one that I would absolutely have to say is my favorite of the songs that people might not know.
Right. Because they might not have the soundtrack.
But that's what I was going to say. You may know the song, but a lot of you may not know that the song is from the Jungle Fever soundtrack, which, as we know, Stevie Wonder did the whole soundtrack. He did one of them, Curtis Mayfield type situations, and he did the whole soundtrack of Stevie Wonder. And so, but this song here, it might have skipped past you because it was popular, because it's simple. But I want you to, as we play it and share it with you, to really listen to this song. And again, it speaks of love, and it's just such a simple concept that so many of us either are not experiencing or we're not practicing, and it's something that we need to do. If you love, I love you, Stephanie.
I love you too, friend. You know that
this is my friend, y'all, and everybody in this comment section. I have some kind of a personal connection with you. I love you too, and I love my family. I love my friends. I got so many good people around me. I'm only blessed. My Aunt Mary Alice, that is okay. So this song is very, very simple in its sentiment, but it is so touching and moving. I want you to listen to it for the first time in this way. Don't listen to it as like a pop song by Stevie Wonder. Listen to it as a love song, and not just romantic love, but just love. And let's use that the words and incorporate that into our lives and how we treat each other, the ones who we know and that we don't know. It's these 3 words by Stevie Wonder from the Jungle Fever soundtrack. Mm-hmm.
When was the last time that they heard you say, Mother or Father, I love you? And when was the last time that they heard you say, Daughter or Son, I love you? Once you say you cherish every day, can instantly be taken away. Then you'd say, I know this can't be true, when you never took the time to simply tell them I love you. When was the last time that they heard you say, Sister or brother, I love you? And when was the last time that they heard you say, Darling or best friend, I love you? The one for whom you'd give your very life could be taken in the twinkling of an eye. Through your tears you'd ask, why did you go? Knowing you didn't always show just how much you love them so. These 3 words, sweet and simple. These 3 words
the joy and love they had between them, they always claim. And when one's called from life, the survive mourn the loss, it will never be the same. Yet they rejoice in knowing they gave them their all. These three words, sweet and simple. These three words, short and kind. These three words, always kindle and making hard to smile inside. These three words, sweet and simple. Sweet and simple. These three words, these three words, these three words, short and kind. These three words, they forgive me 3 times, drummer, for these 3 words. Always kindle and aching heart. You can't let nobody's heart ache now. You got to let 'em smile. You smile inside. These 3
I heard that. Sharice, you wearing me out.
I'm wearing myself out.
Listen,
I'm worn out right now. That song, man.
y'all should understand. Me and Sharice have church off screen when these songs are playing. It is a whole thing. And Stevie sang the stew out of that song.
He did.
He left
You can
nothing
tell
on the
that he
table
meant
emotionally. Nothing.
Everything that he meant, every note. He meant that. If you didn't get that, then you got to do something. Open your heart up or something, because that song really moves me. And I didn't have the Jungle Fever soundtrack, weirdly enough, but I have it now.
There's another song on that soundtrack that kills me, but we're not gonna go because we might come back. I might share that with y'all again some other time.
Yes. Hold on to it.
So our playlists always dovetail. There's full circle and all of those things. So my final song of the evening is a perfect ripple or echo from Sharice's first song of the evening.
Okay.
Because we're talking about family ties, and she sure enough inherited her daddy's voice.
Oh.
And now listen, of course, I've got a ton of stories because I've been doing this for more than 20 years, but 20 years at Soul Sanctuary.
Yes.
And Layla Hathaway is another one that when I tell you the ride or die, sis, I see you. I believe in what you're trying to do. So when you call me, I got you. Layla Hathaway didn't know me from Eve and let me come sit on the floor of her hotel room before a show and shoot an interview with her on my little handheld camera. That video is the most watched video I have ever shared on YouTube. It's probably around 40,000, 50,000 views at this point because of how people feel about her. Not because it's beautifully shot, not because of anything I did, but it's because of the power of who she is and how raw and real she was in her responses to my questions.
Yeah.
And since then, I've probably interviewed her another 2 or 3 times, and we kiki like old biddies that have known each other our whole lives. I so adore her. And she just posted on Facebook earlier today that she was contacted by her alma mater, Berklee College of Music, and they are bestowing an honorary doctorate.
Yes, I saw that. I saw that today. Yes.
And part of the reason they are doing it is because of what she does in this version of the song I'm going to play for y'all. Now, if you don't know a thing about the band Snarky Puppy, that's not the point here. This song appears on Layla's debut album released in 1990. And I need y'all to feel me, because I have been down with Layla from day one, not because of her daddy, not because of all the other things that have come after that, because of her voice.
Yes.
And what she can do with her voice.
Oh my God.
And when I saw that the band Snarky Puppy had invited her to be on this album they call Family Dinner, and that they were doing this song, I was like, well, imagine that. So I knew a whole other generation of fans of hers who hadn't been down from her with day one were going to get introduced to this song. But Lord knows I didn't know what she was going to do.
I promise.
So if you haven't heard this, then I want stop doing whatever you're doing, just so you can listen. It's not in the beginning; it's in the breakdown. And the band broke this all the way down so that she could do whatever she was going to do. This is recorded live, so I don't know that they knew she was going to do this.
Did you see how the drummer jumped up from?
Listen,
he ain't know.
He ain't know. Woo! That's all I can say. I'm gonna leave it there.
That's all that's right. There ain't nothing else to say. Play the song.
The name of the song is Something.
Yes.
This version of the song again appears on an album by a group named Snarky Puppy. They're a big band, you'll see. And the album's called Family Dinner Volume 1. I want to stress again, this is recorded live. You'll hear that at the end when you hear the reactions, because it's all over there. But this song is called Something. Just sit down, sit still, and listen.
Yes.
It's something you and I have something. How I long to be around when you can see that you and I have something in common. Oh, it's something when you can see that. And I'm sure of one thing, how I long to be around when you can see that you and I have something in common. It's been a record so don't when I don't dance on the something in common. Segura na tu puedo de. Segura na tu te be puede de ver de tiro de ver de ver de ver. Oh no 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 da.
I heard that.
I'm in bed. We done worn me out. Yes.
Listen, I
remember when that song. I remember when they dropped that that video from that performance, and
I'm gonna share my screen because I didn't even know the formal term for what she just did.
Right. She explained.
And I want to read it from.
She explained it. How she was, who she studied, and all that stuff. But listen, it ain't helped me none. I can't do that.
Listen. All right. So She posted the article
Yeah.
about what her school is doing. This is what they said. Since recording her debut album while still at Berkeley, vocalist, songwriter, pianist, and activist Lalah Hathaway, class of 90, has left a distinct mark on the world of R&B, soul, gospel, pop, and jazz as one of the most prodigiously gifted and versatile live and recording artists of our time. The daughter of Donny Hathaway, her 3-decade, 7-album career has produced hits such as Forever for Always for Love, which peaked at #1 on the Billboard Hot Adult R&B Airplay chart, and a collaboration album with Joe Sample, The Song Lives On, which reached #2 on the Jazz Album chart. Hathaway is known for her pristine vocal timbre, pitch acuity, and phenomenal vocal range and vocabulary, and her mastery of polyphonic overtone singing helped earn her a Grammy Award for Best R&B Performance for Something with Snarky Puppy in 2014.
Yes.
Her creative ingenuity, expressive voice, and empowering socially conscious writing has inspired a generation of music lovers and garnered 5 Grammys, including Best R&B Album for Lalah Hathaway Live and Best Traditional R&B Performance for Angel in 2017, and 10 Grammy nominations. That's what her school said about her. And for that, they are bestowing upon her an honorary doctorate in music.
Absolutely. As they should. As they should.
So listen, I just say polyphonic overtone singing. That is what that was.
She learned that from some monks somewhere. She studied some monks somewhere that do some kind of thing. And basically she can harmonize with herself. So that's what it means, y'all.
I need y'all to know. I wish I had video of the first time I heard that damn version. Because when I say I know I fell off my couch. I know I was like, what am I hearing right now?
Right. I remember when the first time I saw it, I wish I had video too, because I was like, I know for sure. I know. Well, one thing I know, I instantly rewound it. I went back to see what just happened. I had to do it a couple of times, and then, like I said, the drummer jumped up from behind his set. So I knew. That's why I said they didn't know that was about to happen, because he was up and out.
But I need to also say to you all, because everybody in the room is not a vocalist, and the vocalist will let you know this for show. You got to have a special set of cojones to know that, regardless of whether you practice that every day, all day in the shower, when you know you are doing a live recording, and this is something you have not practiced with the band, it takes a special brand of cojones to say, screw it, I'm gonna do it.
Yes, and let's
see how it turns out.
And when you gonna do it? Because she had done 5 or 10 or 15 minutes of scatting. You know what I'm saying? So like the band don't know what you about to do. So you just scattered for 15 minutes and then you harmonize with yourself a few times.
So
that woman is a phenom. Okay. She's phenomenal.
Woo-wee.
I told you when I saw her live that in New York, one of those places in New York, and she was first of all, she was incredible. I don't think she did something. I don't know if it was out then. I gotta remember. I have to look back. But and how gracious and generous she was with her stage, inviting other people up to sing. And I told you what the girl from Janae came up, and I was like, I had never heard either one of them singing outside of their collective. And then she brought up CeCe Peniston was in the audience. She brought her up. She just, whoever was there, she brought them up. So I just really appreciated that about her. She was very gracious. You know, people put on personas for when they're on stage, and then if you see them off stage, it's like, and people's their whole image of you just crumbles. Like, my whole life has been a lie. I loved you. Why? So half the time I'm like, I don't want to meet none of these folks, but any of them that I have met outside of the arena of performing, thankfully I have not had those bad experiences. And
yeah, and neither have I. And you know, and just honestly, I met a lot of people.
Mhm.
And I brace myself all the time for somebody to just turn out to be not a good person.
Right.
I have never had that experience. Everybody I've had the pleasure of meeting, it legitimately has been a pleasure. Some people more than others.
Blessing. Yeah.
But you know, just all genuine people. And you know, and I would like to think that over the almost 20 years, it'll be 20 years on Sunday, y'all, of the 20 years of Soul Sanctuary, that we've had a lot of people pass through the doors when we were open as a venue, and certainly in this interview, video, audio space, had encountered a lot of folks.
Yeah.
And I thank everybody for the generosity of spirit that has allowed us to produce so much great content and just persevere. You know, pandemic and me almost leaving this planet and all the other things that came in between, that the fact that, you know, we're still here to figure this out and to continue to grow and find new ways to connect to audiences is a real, real blessing. And so on that note, for those of you who are not currently following us on social media and all those things, I'm obliged to put this up because there are ways that you can stay connected. So IG and Twitter is the easy way to get quick bits as things come up. For the anniversary, I've been posting things with hashtag SoulSank20 so that you can see images and video and some of the things that connect us to these artists over the past 20 years in all their stages. The other day, I put up a picture of Jasmine Sullivan performing at Soul Sanctuary back in 2002 when she was still a young girl. Yes. Still just getting into the industry and trying to find her way. And, you know, she just got 2 Grammys last weekend. So that's a very big deal. You know, those kinds of things. So capturing those moments, seeing people before they have become who they are or gone on to these greater success, and still, you know, kind of honoring where they are on their journey and wanting to hear more from them. That's what we've been about for a really, really long time. And in trying to capture more of those moments and share them with you. On our anniversary, on April 10th, I'm launching a brand new podcast called Qualified Cool, and that's cool with a Q. So Qualified Cool. We also have Twitter and everything. On Facebook, you can connect to all that stuff. But the debut episode of the podcast is going to be snippets from interviews that I did years ago with now Academy Award nominated actress Aunjanue Ellis and the late, great Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin.
Yes. Yes.
That conversation was delightful. You're only getting a piece of it. But, you know, I say very specifically in introducing the clip with Aretha Franklin that, you know, we've seen a lot of her story told in, you know, partially fictional, but, you know, retellings of her life story on the big screen and on cable in the past year. Is a whole different vibe when you hear her speaking about her own journey.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I've got all this stuff sitting in the archives. People need to hear it. And so Qualified Cool is going to be an opportunity to repackage and reshare some of the stuff from the past, especially with people who have passed on, right? We need to remember, hear their voices, hear them tell their story. And so part of it's that. And then there'll be new material that's added to that. So think about the possibility of me sharing a clip from 10 years ago and then talking to the person now. So marrying that material. And so you get a different perspective on who they've been and where they're going. So all that stuff's coming at you in the Qualified Cool podcast. You can email me, follow us on social media. You'll get all the connection to that. But the debut episode will post on Sunday, which is officially Soul Sanctuary's 20th anniversary.
Awesome.
And, you know, we've already set out another goal on this broadcast because Sharice hasn't been to Africa. So we're going to have to figure out a way to kind of take this show on the road and do it from the
Yes,
continent.
yes. I have soft plans for Africa for next year, but that doesn't mean that it has to be my only trip to Africa because, you know, it's a large, large continent.
It
And
surely
so
is.
plenty of places to go and visit and reconnect.
So yes, so all of those things are happening. But for those of you who always light up our comment section with so much love, thank you.
Thank you.
Sharice has wrapped her arms around her whole crew and said, come hang out with us here
right.
as we do this broadcast. So we appreciate you. And the folks that are my ride or dies who are always there on the cultural tip and supporting, you know, my efforts. I really, really appreciate you all as well. It has been a hell of a 20 years and I'm looking forward to many more. And we can do that with your support. So thank you in advance for that.
Yes. And as always, we encourage you to purchase the music that you love. In every song that we featured here today that we share with you, I will be posting the information, the artists, the albums, and all that stuff. We saw it posted on during the show, but here's how you can specifically look for it and find it and purchase it. I mean, some of these songs, you know, as we said, are like we're reintroducing ourselves to them. And that's one of the things about doing this show is that in looking for songs and finding songs, I wind up buying more music. So I've been definitely putting my money where my heart is, and it's thankfully it's not an exorbitant amount of money. I mean, songs are pretty cheap, and then albums aren't even what they were a few years ago because of the digital aspect or whatever. But I'm still a CD person because a lot of CDs have liner notes, and I'm a weirdo in that I like to have my liner notes. So, but share the music that you love with the children in your lives. If you don't you want your kids to be like, oh yeah, that's my song too, mommy or auntie or uncle or whatever. Like, don't you want them to be like, not when they get in the car with you asking you to change the station? The kids in my circle in my life, they don't do that. My great nieces, when they ride with me, they now in their 20s. They would never like, can we change this? Can we listen to something else? My nephews, never. Why? Because first of all, they already know if you wanted me to change, it wasn't gonna happen. They knew that. But they listen to my music, and I listen to the same stuff that we've been sharing here. So you want your children, the children in your lives, whatever way they're connected to you, to appreciate the music that you love, because that's what keeps that music alive. And the best way to do that is to share it with them in casual, you know, not you don't know nothing about this, you don't have to do that. Just play the music and they'll love it because it's good music. And they don't really recognize good music because most of what they listen to right now are either snippets of songs or samples. You know, they everything is like a DJ mix type thing. They're not listening to whole songs or even whole albums.
Right.
They just being deprived. So we have to be the ones to stand in the gap for them so that they can understand and appreciate the same music that we love. And we're all on one accord, us in this comment section. So let's just continue to share that with the younger people so that they can have their music, they can love it and everything, but know where it's evolving from. Hopefully we'll, you know, everything comes in the circle, that it come back to the good stuff, you know. Until then, you got us.
Yes.
We gonna be here for you and your kids. Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. So thank you for hanging with us on this extended set that we shared with you this evening. And we hope, Lord willing, we'll be back here in another 2 weeks to do it all again around another theme. Y'all have been sliding us in the comment section and in email. Y'all been sliding us ideas. So I'm sure that we'll be incorporating some of that as we come back. I think, you know, we talked up Africa enough. We might need to hit that world vibes type situation for the next show. Just to, you know, just to show respect to the roots.
My great niece Ava has I don't know the name of the song, but Lord, she thinks she speaks Spanish a lot, but she don't speak Spanish. It's much like Sharon, my couturier. She thinks she speaks Spanish, so she'll be speaking Spanish. I'm sorry, you have perfect Spanish, Sharon. I have to buy my stuff tonight, so perfect Spanish. But Ava, that is one of those songs one of those Afrobeat songs that's very popular. I don't know the name of it. She was singing it to me. I love this song. She don't know the name of it either, but I recognize the song from her singing it. And I was like, good Lord, like the kids are really, this is the influence that music has on all of us. Even the child that doesn't know what she's singing in another language. She swears she's singing it right, but this is her song. You know what I mean? So imagine the influence that we can have. We put certain songs in front of them to listen to, as opposed to what they're being given from whomever else that really don't have their best interest at heart. So again, purchase the music you love and share it with the young people in your lives.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Much love always. And good night.
Look for my posts.